Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is Heather with Handmade by Heather again. Last week we started on a crochet to corner dishcloth, and I showed you how to do the increases. And I advised you that you needed to go ahead and continue making the increases until you get it to the width that you want. Um, I have done the same. Mine is apparently wrapped up in my shawl. Uh, sorry, it is very cold here in the Midwest right now. Outside, I think tonight is supposed to get down to like 4 degrees. So my house, although it is a warm 66 in this house, my heater is struggling just a little bit. But that's okay. As long as it keeps going, I don't mind. Okay, so here is mine ready to start up with the decreases. This is what the original looked like. Well, there we go. I know usually I don't have a screen behind me, but right now I have, I'm getting ready to mail some stuff off. And so I've got a big, ginormous pile of boxes behind me. And honestly, it just makes my house look like it's really kind of messy. And I can't handle it. So because if I sit here and look at it while I'm making the video for you guys, I'm going to be sitting here going, I need to hurry this up. I need to hurry this up and get that out of here. And I don't want to do that with you. So we are actually going to start doing the decreases this time. So we're going to go from 5 blocks back down to 1. So we're going to go over how to do the decreases in a crochet situation here. And I was thinking if you guys would like to make like a cowl or a scarf out of corner to corner, next week I will show you how to keep the same number of blocks, so that way you can just make it as long as you want. So that'll be next week, and I will show you how to do make a cowl or a blanket or a scarf. So that'll be next week's, is how to maintain. I would have done it this week, but I told you last week we were going to do decreases today, and I don't really want to change it up on you now. So we're going to do decreases here, and then next week I'll show you how to make your item longer instead of a square. Okay? So let me get my area prepped for where you can look down at the table. Oh, yes, we did redo our nails. The thumb also has a French tip on it. French tips are my dread. I just did 4 French tips, and they took me about 3 hours to get right. Yeah, I know they say practice makes perfect, but we'll see. We're waiting on that one. So give me a second. Let me get my cameras flipped, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so as you can see, we have half of our dishcloth here. About to lose my hole here, my loop. Okay, and as you can see, I am making mine, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Mine is going to be a 9 by 9 square. Okay, each one of these blocks of 3 double crochets and the chain 3 counts as 1 block. Okay, so there's a block, 1, 2, 3 plus the chain 3. Here's a block, chain 3 plus, oh, there it is, plus the chain 3. I promise I do know what I'm doing. Another block here, 3, and then chain 3. Another block, 3, and chain 3. Okay, so we have a 9 by 9 block. Okay, so I have made this dishcloth wide enough to fit my hand, which is my goal with dishcloths. And so now I am ready to start decreasing this back down into going back down into this one. As you know, we have increased on every side that we have done a row on. So now we are going to decrease. Okay. Okay. So I am at the end of the row here, as you can see, end of this row right here. So I'm going to put my crochet hook back in my loop. Now, if we were going to increase this, then this is where we would do the chain 6, double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, and then 3 double crochets, and then 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Okay, this is where we would do that, but we don't want to add any more to it. So we just need to keep, we need to decrease the number of stitches. Give me just a second. Sorry about that. I realize you don't know of anything that happened, but apparently my new old headset decides it doesn't want to connect to the computer anymore. So as soon as JR gets home, he can fix that for me. So we're using the old one. So if I have to old set of headphones, so if I have to pause, it's because my headphones have turned off, which is why we were looking at replacing them. Okay, so getting back to what we're doing, we are decreasing. So we need to keep this move this from 9 down to 8. Okay, so now instead of increasing every row, we are going to decrease. Okay, and how we decrease is simple. Right now we are at the place where if we were going to increase and make this wider again, we would be chaining 6, doing the increase, but we are decreasing. So what we do is we turn the work. Now we are going to slip stitch across each of these 3 stitches. Okay. So the way that I do this is, since I need to slip stitch into this first stitch right here, if you find out that your working yarn gets in the way, I grab my finger and I pull it behind the hook, and then while keeping a hold of the working yarn, put the hook through the loop, then let go of the working yarn, grab it and pull through, and then slip stitch. Do the same thing in the next thing, but you shouldn't need to hold your working yarn because it should now be reoriented into the back. So slip stitch, and then slip stitch in the last double crochet. Okay, now slip stitch into the chain 3 space, and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 double crochets in the chain 3 space. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we just did our first block right here. Okay, so now if you look at this, you will notice now instead of making this longer, we've started going up this side. Okay, so now all you have to do is do the very same thing that you did on the increasing side for each one of these blocks all the way until you get over to here. Okay, so slip stitch in the next chain 3 space, chain 3, 3 double crochets in the chain 3 space. And then do the same thing in the next chain 3 space. Some days I really just like my acrylic hooks. Today's one of those days when I work with cotton. The yarn just does not want to slip off the hook. So you may ask, Heather, what the world do you do with all the excess fabric that you have? I bundle it up into my hand. Just bundle. And when you're working on a blanket or something, I basically do the same thing. I just don't hold the whole entire thing. And sometimes as you go through, you will see these little blocks will get in your way. They'll stick up. And all I usually do in that situation is just fold it down and hold it with my ring finger. Cotton is one of these beautiful things where, you know, if you kind of do it I don't remember what the actual term for it in sewing, but I call it a loose press, and you just press it down with your fingers. Just press it. It'll stay that way for a little bit. And if you want it back up, just move it back up. It's wonderful joys of blocking when you get done with it. When you block them, they will pretty much stay where you want it to. At least until you need to block it again. So you just continue doing that all the way across until you get to the other end. Forgot how many double crochets I did right there. So if next week we're going to learn how to keep this the same size, same number of blocks, and just make like a big long rectangle instead of a square. So that'll be next week. And for that, I'm probably going to just not use cotton, and I may make a cowl. Two more. And that way I can sit here and show you how to keep it one length as you go across. My cone is not behaving today. It has just been one of those weeks. My dogs broke their dog door. And they didn't just break the flap off, which is what JR told me that they did. Oh no, they broke the frame. This is what it said. You know, good Australian Shepherds. They're beautiful, wonderful dogs. They are. But when they go out of a door 90 miles to nothing, it kind of causes issues. And one of our neighbors, I think, has a new dog or something, and they just pell-melled out of here like a bat out of you-know-where. And completely cracked my dog door. So it's been a wild and crazy week. Okay, so now we are back at the end again. And if it helps for your orientation, this right down here is where we started. Okay, let me scoot this down. I see my table's moved. I can thank Miss Simber. She's laying on the floor down there. So we started right here and we worked going back and forth diagonally. Okay, so this one here had 9. This one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so now this right here, we need to do the same thing that we did here to turn this one to where it starts going this way. Okay. Just like I wrote all this down and I have it on another screen over here. But like with all patterns that I write, I can sit here and go through them several times before going it over with you. And then I'll wind up realizing in the midst of this that, oops, I messed up. So, yeah. So I'm right. Sorry. I do apologize. So we're going to decrease here again and go back up this way. Okay. So go ahead and put your yarn back in your loop, hook back in your loop. One of these days, I'm going to find a nice solution to keep my cones to behave. I know there are solutions out there, but I'm cheap, you know, so I figure it out myself. Okay, so now we have the 3 double crochets here and the chain 3 again. So what we're going to do is slip stitch in the first stitch again, just like we did on the last one. Slip stitch in the first one, slip stitch in the second one. If you're like me and you have dogs and animals in the house, remove the fluff. Slip stitch in the next one. And then slip stitch in the chain 3 space. And yes, I know my house is full of hair, but I will tell you, I have never sent out a project to somebody else that has hair in it. I will go over that booger, over my projects with tweezers to make sure I get every single hair out, if it even has any. Usually they don't. So, okay, so we just slip stitched all the way across and into the chain 3 space. So now we chain 3 and 3 double crochets in the same chain 3 space. And then slip stitch into the next chain 3 space, and just repeat that slip stitch, chain 3, 3 double crochets in each chain 3 space across. I will be back with you when I get right over here. Okay, so I'm at 15 minutes, so I'm actually at 20 because my beginning part was about 3 minutes. So we're going to kind of move this along a little bit. So we are back. We just finished this last one, so we just need to decrease again. Single crochet in the first double crochet, just like you did the last time. Oh, wait a minute. I messed up. I only did 2 double crochets there. It's like, wait a minute, I don't have 3 double crochets. What the world happened there? Okay, now we've got 3 double crochets. Slip stitch in the first one. You didn't actually expect that I was all put together and all this, and things weren't chaotic in my videos. Welcome to my videos. 2. Next, slip stitch into the third, and then slip stitch into the chain 3 space. Chain 3. I messed up. Hold on a second. This doesn't look. Found it. I apologize. It will be right down below, and this is the correct way that you do it. So you do it all the way across until you get to your last block here, okay? Then all you do is you slip stitch into the block and turn, slip stitch into the first stitch. Of course, that does mean you actually have to do 3 double crochets in that area. Apparently, I have forgotten all my crochet lessons. Oh boy. Okay, so you've done all the way across until you got to the last block. Okay, slip stitch into that chain 3 space, turn your work, slip stitch into the first double crochet, slip stitch into the next double crochet, slip stitch into the third double crochet, and then slip stitch into the chain 3 space. Chain 3, 2, 3, 3 double crochets in that chain 3 space. And since I messed up there, I'm telling you, I was going to leave you until I got down to the last one. But this video is just going to wind up being a little long because since I messed up there, I want to go over it again with you because I don't want you leaving with any confusion or not understanding how this works. Okay? So what I want you to do now is the same thing that I'm going to be doing. Go ahead and do this chain 3 and chain 3, 3 double crochets, and every chain 3 stitch across until you get to the very last chain 3 space. Okay, and then stop there, and I will be right back. Okay, so as you can see, I have gone across again, and now I am right here at this last chain 3 space. So all you have to do is, I'm going to grab my yarn again, slip stitch into that chain 3 space and turn your work. And then slip stitch into the next double crochet, slip stitch in the next double crochet, and in the last of the 3 double crochet group right there, and then slip stitch in the chain 3 space, chain 3. Once again, I'm going to murder my cone. Let's see maybe if it likes sitting up here more. I have a little yarn bowl. It's a salad bowl, honestly. Just a melamine salad bowl that I have sitting by my table that my yarn sits in and just freely rotates to come out. But cones just don't want to do that. 3 double crochets. And then just continue doing that across. And just remember to only slip stitch in the last chain 3 space as you get down. And I will see you again when I get back down to where I have just finished the 3 here. Okay, so I will be right back. Go ahead and continue that until you get down to where you only have 3 blocks. Okay. Okay, so now I'm down to the last 3. I've done there's 3 blocks here. Oh, excuse me. My coffee's talking back. So now all I have to do is I'll have 2 more here, and then the final. So I figured I'd go ahead and do those with you, even though it's pretty much the same thing that you have been doing. So slip stitch in the first, you turn to work, slip stitch in the first double crochet, slip stitch in the second crochet, double crochet, and slip stitch in the third double crochet, and then slip stitch in the chain 3 space, chain 3, and then double crochets, 2, 3. I put my cone on the floor, so we're hoping that helps. Slip stitch into the next chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. 3 double crochets in that same chain 3 space. After this, I get to go wash dishes. And then slip stitch only in that last chain 3 space. Turn to work. Okay. Now this is our final one. So slip stitch across the top of the chain 3 spaces. Okay. Now, to make this last and final tile right here, it's going to be the same thing that we've been doing. Slip stitch into the chain 3 space. Don't lose part of your yarn like I just did. Chain 3. 3 double crochets in the same stitch space. 2 and 3. Are you ready? Drum roll, slip stitch into the next chain 3 space, and you are done. Easy peasy. So then take your scissors and snip, and then pull it out. Don't drop your hook. And there you have it. It looks a little wonky, but block it out. It'll be just fine. Personally, my dishcloths, I don't block. I just weave in my ends. On my dishcloths, I actually will put a knot in my ends to help them stay there. And then I weave them in, and then I just toss them in the drawer to be used. And then after I wash dishes with them, I just toss them in the washer. I don't worry about blocking them. These are my personal ones. Now, if I am making some that I am going to sell or making them for somebody else, then yes, I do wash and I do block them. I don't just toss them and go. So that is all you need to do with this. You have now completed your first corner to corner crochet project. Next week, I will go through and I will show you how to make a rectangle. And so that way there is no question and you will know how to do everything there is to know. All right, so happy crochet, and I will see you next week.